That sucked.
That is correct.
You know, for me, the biggest question is, who's to blame for this? You could blame M. Night Shyamalan, it is technically his movie, but when you think about it, he's not the one at fault here. I mean, you got a lot of signature traits involved, no question about that, but at the end of the day, this movie exists because Will Smith wanted to show off his son. Make his son look cool. And for some bizarre reason, thought M. Night Shyamalan was the best choice for directing. To be fair, Jaden Smith was rising in popularity, but I don't know if that's any reason to think an apocalyptic space movie directed by Shyamalan could lead to a franchise that would enhance his popularity. And yes, becoming a franchise was apparently the idea. But as we all know, that was for naught. It started out at number 1, but then managed to drop about 1 slot per day. Because it was just so bad, people felt the need to make sure others didn't see it. That's how bad it was. Shyamalan's definitely to blame to a point, but you can't deny the fact that without Smith's huge ego, this may have not been a complete train wreck. But it doesn't take that long into analyzing the intro to know that's not gonna be the case.
The aliens released to us monsters, bred to kill humans.
What the fuck? What's with the fucking accent? You didn't have that in the previous movies. What the fuck? That would really kill any good scenes. Oh, right.
The founding of the United Ranger Corps 1,000 years ago was a global military effort.
Okay, let's cut to the aforementioned chase and list everything wrong with this fucking intro. Starting out in the middle and cutting back for no reason, making the apocalypse man-made even though aliens exist in this universe, failing to explain anything about the aliens apart from the fact that they exist, giving Will Smith's character the title of
the Prime Commander Cypher Rage.
Dead fucking serious. And the fact that the aliens can only see through fear, and Will's character is so perfect, he's simply void of this, and practically invisible. Can you imagine the arrogance of this? Even Cruise didn't suck himself off this hard.
This phenomena is known as ghosting.
No, that's the thing that gets you cancelled. So after the intro of bullshit, we cut back 3 days and see the cadets training, in which Katai shows off his amazing skills by...
This isn't a race, cadet!
Oh, I forgot he has no skills. It's that kind of cliche. Which is why he fails to become a ranger.
It's a very special day for our family. And I've got to be able to tell him that I'm a ranger, sir.
Well, if it's a very special day... So he tells his dad he didn't advance, and we have what may be the only interesting thing in the movie.
I'm hungry. I'm going to my room.
Are you asking me or telling me?
May I go to my room, sir?
Denied! Sit down!
Now what's funny about this is the idea of Will Smith's character is to have him act as lazy and boring as possible. Because that's good storytelling. So why does he act this way in just this one scene? It never happens again, it's out of place to begin with, and believe it or not, doesn't make his boring character any cooler. But you know what is cool? Future technology. For the sake of future technology.
Terribly ingenious, highly imaginative, incredibly inventive.
So we have the whole "your son is reaching for you" cliche, you have to go talk to him, oh, and someone of importance died, and the kid blames himself. So, you can piece the rest together. Well, at least we'll get some development as they have the whole father and son conversation.
Pack your bags. You're coming with me to Ephetos.
Or not. I mean, I can't say I'm not glad, but what was the point of the previous conversation then? Now we'll zoom out to show you this is in fact futuristic, otherwise known as Shyamalan world building. We have a scene with an amputee who he saved, in which he demands to be held up so we can salute him. Smith, don't you think it's a bit too obvious that this is gonna get referenced later?
Denied!
Isn't it beautiful? It's too bad most of the movie's gonna be in a jungle. So during the flight, Katai sneaks off to an area where he's not supposed to be. But since he's the commander's son, they let him try out the whole ghosting thing. I sense something possibly interesting. I'll put a stop to that. He explains what ghosting is, even though we already know this, and we have more flashbacks, explaining stuff we can probably already predict, but let's see. A dome, Katai being placed inside the dome, person who must be his sister outside the dome. My guess is the dome doesn't make it, and it was an important dome, a dome that was always there for him.
Attention on deck!
Keep my son out of your fucking cliché scene! You knew that was coming, I mean, come on. After bitch slapping all the men, it's made apparent that this trip might not be the best idea.
That storm could be on us in minutes.
But sir, mass expansion is 1 in a million.
But that's okay, because the fearless Cyper Rage has it all figured out.
How often are you wrong?
My wife would give a very interesting answer to that question.
Yes, because not only am I fearless, but I am also one of the 2 main characters, meaning the plot will save me if something goes wrong. What about us, sir? Yeah, right. So, after an extremely boring sequence, they decide the best option is to land, which goes badly. The movie's done for us, see ya! So they crash land, and of course, only the 2 of them live. Which makes absolutely no sense, but maybe it was their suits or something. Could it maybe be explained?
Denied!
Yeah, that's what I thought. It turns out his leg is pretty fucked up, so Katai must go out on his own and reach the other half of the ship with the emergency beacon, while the commander stays behind to occasionally speak and do nothing. Okay, I'm aware of the fact that this movie was designed to promote his son, so I can kind of see him getting the spotlight, but I feel the need to mention that on one occasion, he turned down a movie by Quentin Tarantino because he felt the role as one of the 2 main characters wasn't good enough. Unlike his other most well-known movies in which he definitely doesn't share the lead. He even agreed to be in Aladdin as the fucking genie. Well, at least he doesn't give money to Scientology. What the fuck? Explain this shit!
Denied!
Anyway, at least this Shyamalan movie has some kind of twist.
Do you know where we are? This is Earth.
Don't you mean...
Welcome to Earth.
A fun time that was. Unfortunately, this movie's failure would be the reason he inevitably turned down the sequel to that movie. But I can't say that was a bad move. So he gives him his cliché Shyamalan stick, and he finally sets off, and what the fuck is with that outfit? You don't really notice it till now, but the fuck? Is that the best they could do? Also, what the fuck is going on in this flashback? I mean, I don't care about the plot, but why the hell are they sitting like that? Are they even real? And then there's this.
My suit's turned black. I like it, but I think it's something bad.
I don't know. Is this the dumbest thing ever said in a Shyamalan movie? Maybe. But apparently, the color change means danger is near. Luckily, he has his weapon that turns into anything, so a basic Earth animal shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, I understand that you're afraid, but throwing the weapon would have made more sense. But what in the fucking hell did you think throwing a rock at it would accomplish? Somebody explain.
Denied!
This leads to an epic chase, in which he uses his new power of teleportation every time they get too close, allowing him to escape to the river of complete safety, for some reason. But that's not enough to deter the fact that he's still in the movie after Earth.
I repeat, you are not being followed. Katai, you are running from nothing.
Well, you shouldn't have cast your son in this shit movie then, you dumbass. This leads into a cringe-worthy scene with bad acting and bland acting, kind of what you should be used to at this point. But it turns out amongst the chaos, some of the inhalers broke, and now there isn't enough, so he tells him to abort the mission.
No, Dad.
What the fuck was that?
No, Dad.
Well, I'm guessing nobody played that one back. But the time has come for a scene that nobody should have to endure.
What was I supposed to do? What did you want me to do? She gave me an order. She said no matter what, don't come out of that box.
This is ridiculous. It's just a bunch of cliches crammed into one scene with outright terrible acting. Will Smith actually had the nerve to get mad at people when they criticized his son. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen when you let this scene make the final cut? It's funny too because he can act. We've seen it. But this?
And you think I'm a coward? You're wrong. I'm not a coward. You're the coward. I'm not a coward.
You could have just ended with, "You're the coward." Okay? Even though his dad factually isn't a coward in the movie, but whatever. So he jumps off the end anyway, resulting in an epic flight scene. Oh, well, he's fucking dead. Happy ending! No, instead he's placed in a bird's nest in a seemingly non-dire situation. Were they just waiting for him to wake up? This is Walking Dead level of stupidity! He helps fend off a tiger invasion, leading to a scene that would be real sad in any other movie, but this is After Earth, and at this point, you're mostly dead inside. The communication thing breaks, meaning he must survive on his own, building his own raft and having a dream sequence thing.
Now you gotta get up.
I memorized some of Moby Dick.
Guitar, get up.
All that most maddens and torments.
Guitar.
Can anybody explain how this makes any sense?
Denied!
Right, I keep forgetting. We have an equally dumb scene when he almost freezes to death, but then the bird from earlier comes back and saves him.
Isn't that convenient?
And he reaches the other half of the ship just in time, which just so happens to have some extra inhalers.
Isn't that convenient?
Unfortunately, the beacon isn't working because the atmosphere is currently blocking it, or something. So he instead imitates the audience. Then his dad states what he has to do and where he has to go. And even though he can't hear him, he does it anyway. Is this some kind of telepathic bullshit? It isn't explained. So he goes off to get a better signal while fighting off the main alien monster thing. You know, come to think of it, we haven't really seen too many of these things, have we? Just a bunch of Earth creatures. It kind of makes the whole title confusing. Buddy thinks about his dead sister, who, if you don't know by now, is dead, and finally eliminates all fear, allowing him to ghost and kill the alien creature in boring Shyamalan fashion. Well, look on the bright side. This means they can finally get rescued and the movie can finally end. With Will Smith referencing that scene we all knew would get referenced. And I think it can all be summed up quite easily. And that was After Earth. And I guess Shyamalan could have said no, but I have to hold Will Smith responsible. It's no secret that this is one of the worst sci-fi movies ever made, and I mean one of the worst, but also one of the worst movies, period. It's cliche as fuck, has terrible acting all around, well I guess Will Smith being blank was intentional, nothing is remotely explained, there isn't an attempt at world building, and the whole thing is a blatant attempt to implant his son into a sci-fi franchise that obviously would never happen. Intentions like that are never really a good thing. You kind of have to make a decent movie first, then think about that. But this doesn't even come close. It's almost in the category of so bad it's good, but then again, some of these scenes are actually hard to get through, so best just leave it alone. I'm the Analyst, and remember kids, a lesson in health, well-being, and positive thinking.
Denied!
Fuck off, Will Smith. Fuck it. So, you made it to the end, an impressive feat indeed. Since you managed that, consider checking out the gaming channel, in which I cover a variety of gaming topics, like in-depth gameplay, and analysis videos like this one. If you want to see that, then press the link in the description. It's that simple.